Hello, welcome back. We have a message from Veritas. Well, today is an auspicious turn, as my big ol' blood mage gets in position to cast Blood Vortex. There's a global event where blood rituals get a discount. This is a clear sign I am destined for godhood, and I put my slaves, as many slaves as I can, into casting it. Surely I will soon have blood slaves out the wazoo, and in short order we'll have storm demons out the wazoo. My plan now is to boost a Bride in Waiting to Air 4 and make some storm staffs. I also hit Construction 9 recently, so I'm making lots of silly gear to put on my father Ill-Earth. And once I get enough water gems together, I'll start summoning Telkeens. I'm not sure what spells Yummy will bring out, but I figure it's better to start fighting them as soon as possible. I'm looking to do it in a turn or two, okay. We might start seeing some anti-Yomi action soon. I think at this point my decision to lay low and build up early was the right one. I'm getting around 200 slaves a turn, and that will only grow. But also, Marverni, Kalum are keeping Ubar tangled up. Yomi has invaded Marverni too, and it sounds like Roos is going to fight Yomi too. Basically, everyone else is fighting, and I can choose my target. I'd think about attacking Roos, but they aren't distracted, and I can probably get a throne or two off Yomi with less effort. I am concerned about Roos in the long run, but I think they can be trusted to not attack, at least while they're fighting Yomi. Well, remains to be seen. This turn is just the... well... the defense of Marverni. Although Marverni putting up a bit of a fight at the start here. Let's see. Mountains of Ebonite first. We have... those are some very dark skies. Those are some very dark skies. What? Daylight? I disagree. Daylight, no rain. What? What? I don't know what's happened to the sky. It's very spooky. But we have some Call of the Wilds against some Bakemono and some bandits. Gonna assume these clean up the walls pretty easily. Okay, that's a whiff for Call of the Wilds. Next up we have Skyreach Rise, which is more Call of the Wilds. Any luck here? Probably not. No. But, you know, attempt was made. Then we see Kalum attacking Ubar. 1 point of PD though, so not much to see here. We've got all these unguarded commanders. That's Cliffs of Chalk. Where's that one? Okay, so taking back his cap circle. And then we also have then a bunch of Yomi into Marverni. So, Deadlands, we get Dione against, oh, the God Army. So, is this auto-blessed? Yes. Alright, I can already see how this battle is going to progress. And it doesn't look good for Marverni. Let's see, are you guys going to cast anything interesting? We do have some gifts from heaven coming down, okay. Now, if my Ulm series is anything to go by, these missiles are incredibly accurate. Nope, that is a complete miss. Close. Want to try again? Getting worse. Alright, 2 people casting it now. Wait, how many mages do you have here? You have 4 druids? Okay. Can every druid do Kiss from Heaven? I assume so. That was always Marverni's thing, right? Okay, we're still whiffing the meteors, unfortunately. Yeah, this is not... this isn't what happened to Ulm. You know, then again, I had a lot more than 1 square of units. Now then, let's let's watch the fireworks. Oh, did that hit you? Surely not, you would have died. Nope. Meteor only hit the boars. Only the explosion hits the Dione. Yeah. Dione, of course, unfortunately immune to fire damage. And regenning to boot. Well then. So that was Deadlands. Fitting name. Not a great result for Marvoni, unfortunately. We did get to see some exploding boars though, but not really the context I was hoping for them. Pale Highlands next. Is this more... Okay, down into a bunch of PD. We can imagine how that's going to go. Sleepy Mountains. We have... Okay. An awful lot of Shikomi. I'm going to guess this is like the Throne Fort or something. How many commanders here? 3? Scutata. Bishop Fish. Yeah, this is probably the Throne Fort then. Let's see, that was Sleepy Mountains, right? Okay, almost the throne. On the way there. Roots of the Problem is then attacked by barbarians, and then by Yomi, so Yomi gets to clean up some barbs. Do barbs manage to do any damage to this guy? They might hit him, right? Probably gonna rout too quickly though. Did 1 point of damage, okay. Is that it? Just 1 point? Okay, I think that's 1 point more than Marvoni did so far though, so... respect to the barbarians. So, Roots of the Problem is also a throne, right? Oh yeah, so there it is under siege now. Quite funny, it got sieged by barbs as well. Just to make sure Marvoni is locked in here, the local barbarians took a stab at it first. And failure next. We have Yomi sending just some Tengu against quite a lot of ranged units. You all have javelins as well? Not you guys. These guys have the javelins, plus archers, plus slingers. You guys have javelins. So Tengu are extremely fragile. These are glass cannon units. They have no shield and no helmet, so... and 4 protection in the case of the Karasu Tengu. So I imagine they just get javelined to death instantly. But let's see. He landed in the back. These guys are probably also going to hit quite hard. Yep, those guys are gone. That's like... I mean, the summon gives you the die Tengu, which is the important bit, I suppose, but it's a shame to lose all those units. So that was on failure. Yeah, that was every single Tengu just gone. Didn't cost me... Oh, that was an awful lot of stuff in that province as well. Where is Anfalia? Did you know that that was going to be there? Possibly not. Might have thought you could just take this province for free, I'm not sure. But that is an unfortunate result for Yomi. Is that Yomi's first real loss? I can't remember. I think they probably lost some stuff underground, didn't they, against Pyrenees, but that's about it. Laria next. Another Dai Tengu into some PD. And some Flagellants and an Etin, is that? Ogre? Probably more of the same though. Laria, yep. Bowl of Dust then, we have Ubar versus Marvoni. So, okay, we have a real battle. Big line of trolls, troll guys, earth kings, and as always, tons of guardians and ifrits against a nice line of stuff from Marvoni. Although, again, just free open mages with no bodyguards, which is a bit of a risk against flying units. Are you guys casting anything interesting yet? We have Mindburn in there. These guys are doing some blessings. Surely you guys should be getting into a communion or something. There's some sort of communion taking place here. Let's see, are there any big druids here? Okay, so these are just regular druids. So they're all only S1. They do have pearls in some cases. Okay. What? Guys, that's amazing. No nature magic. Interesting. I don't think these mages last very long. We know that Ubar likes to attack immediately with his flares. So some mages have already been deleted. Yeah, a bit of a, not a great setup for Maverni, I don't think. Not sure what the plan was here. So, okay. Where was that? That was Ball of Dust. Let's go look at that on the map. Where is that? Bowl of Dust. So that was the army that was sitting there. I think, okay. First of all, I think, you know, we shouldn't really have the mages all spread out, standing alone like this, with no bodyguards, no cover, no protection, against a bunch of flying units. I think we can safely say that. I think a bunch of S1 mages probably aren't going to do much on their own either. We are sort of... I mean, these guys would hold up for a while. They're not going to rout either. So the thing that marks the transition from the early to the mid-game is the impact of mages. Pretty safe to say that this Malverni army needed some of the big druids to come along. Really, they should have been in some sort of communion. Although, what can you do with S1 mages? If one guy puts up Light of the Northern Star, that gets them all to S2. And then they can all use a Pearl and do Power of the Spheres, which gets them to S3. In theory, these could all be S3 mages, right? If we take some time to do some setup. And S3 is pretty good against Ubar. Let me think. Is this enchantment or is it... what am I looking for? Is it alt? Alt's a big one. Arcane Domination. Oh, control. Yeah. So alt 6 gives you control. Oh, that does cost a pearl to cast them. So they'd need to have pearls to do that. What else have they got? Well, it's just the basic... Oh, there's opposition as well. That doesn't cost a pearl. So the thing about Ubar's armies is that every single unit is a magic being, right? So there's a lot of cool spells that only affect magic beings that you can deploy against them, like this one. This would let every S3 mage just delete an Ubar unit every turn if it fills a magic resistance roll. So there's magic 1 in this province. That gives them reduced magic resistance, I think, or is that only magic 2 now? Where's your magic resistance? Ooh, they have 15. Alright, they've got magic power though. That's so annoying. Bro, can these units lose something? Do they really have to have shock res, fire res, ethereal, flying, stealth, glamour, invis, spirit sight, magic power, storm flying, magic weapons, and then the big guys also have firepower as well. Wait. And fire shields. Like, do they? Is that really necessary? Can they not just have like just a touch fewer buffs, please, Illwinter? What is this? Why do they have 15 magic resistance with magic power? That's so fucking stupid. Okay. Okay. But in theory, you would let's see. So the astral stuff, there'd be control. Control would be really nice if they could spam that, because then they'd actually claim the Ubar units for themselves, which would help them out a lot. If you had just one Elder Druid here doing a communion, you could do Doom first as well. If you had a lot of research, you could even just spam Arcane Domination with a... You could just do one Elder Druid in communion and just spam this. And just keep trying to enslave all of those units. That might be hard. Its MR negates easily, yeah. Against 15 MR. But with some pen items, you know. He's got... How many slaves is that he's got? So if we assume... I mean, even just this, right? Even just using druids, you could probably... I mean, it depends what his research looks like, though, doesn't it? He's middle of the pack. He could have one big spell researched, and it would probably have to be Arcane Domination, wouldn't it? So I think you'd pull all the mages into... They'd all have bodyguards. They'd all be on one square to maximize the amount of density of units around them. And then every squad would just be placed directly on top of that. Just to give them as much buffer as possible. And then you just want to spam one big spell that tries to help you out. Or if you don't have this yet, then they could do control. Or, I mean, what else is there? There's a bunch of, like, astral stuff that's good against magic beings, or just tough things in general. There's opposition as well for just insta-gib, and that doesn't need pearls. Technically there's unraveling. I'm not sure if that does much to Uber, though. Since it's decay. I'm gonna assume they have a max age of 10 billion as well, just because, I mean, they have everything else, right? 750? Yeah. That's probably your best bet, though, isn't it? There is also just regular enslaved mine as well, which doesn't need a pearl. And that would still work on them. And that's S4, though. That would be a bit harder for them to cast. I think that's probably what you have to try and do. These units don't have poison res, do they? That's so many hit points, though. Because one of those druids at the start tries to do Breath of the Dragon, doesn't he? I think that gets cast on... Getting cast on the trolls, though. But I mean, Breath of the Dragon does a lot of damage, doesn't it? Let's see. Somebody took 9 points of damage there. Where's this guy? I think the mage is dead, unfortunately, so I can't really... I think Breath of the Dragon's one of those spells that scales really well. It's only N2. The AoE scales for one for every level you are. The damage scales by 2 for every level you are. And it's just armor negating magic poison damage with no resist or anything. So you could imagine, you know, all these guys, they're just in a block. And they just give themselves some buffs for a few turns, and then they just set up a communion or something. And then as soon as this comes down, the block just, you know, buffs Breath of the Dragon on things. See, there's Breath of the Dragon. How much damage are you doing? So it's doing 9, 6, 3, 4 points of damage with nothing, just an N2 mage. So it'd probably do something, right? I don't know, I think in general that's how you have to do these sorts of battles at this point, don't you? You have to just keep your mages as safe as possible and just have them cast something that hurts the Ifrits and the Guardians and things, because the units just don't do anything at this point. This feels like setting up like a turn, you know, a turn 15 army or something, rather than a turn 50 army. And it turns out Ubar is extremely good on turn 15, so it doesn't really cut it anymore, does it? Now, I'm not saying if you put all your mages in a block and just spammed, you know, Arcane Domination or whatever. Well, not that one, the small one. I can never remember the name of it. It's, Control. I'm not saying that would have won the battle, but it probably would have been a better chance than this, right? Is the thing. So that is what I would say about that battle. But yeah, in general, once it gets past about turn 24, let's say, as like a general rule, you probably want to be trying to figure out how to use your magic more effectively to counter things than just your units. In fact, by this point, we're approaching the end game, so you kind of want to be transitioning away from units entirely if you can, other than for just cracking open forts and things. So is that useful? I don't know, but if any new players are watching this game, maybe you'll find some of that useful. Let's see. Next up, Forest of Gila. More Diones into PD, so again, not much to see there. Evergreen Forest, we have Beratos versus Ubar. Where is this? Right, okay. Don't remember what the story was here, but sure. Apparently Ubar had something in Beratos' cap circle. I have no idea. Utavania is next. We have a Dione against 1 point of PD. Kopos, we have Dione against some PD. I mean, these are all going to go the same way. Do I even need to click this? No. Avoca then, we have Ubar versus Kalem. Not much to see though again. We're just walking over stuff. Galatia, we have Boars against 1 point of PD. And Acid Jazz Swamp, we have Yomi versus Marverni. And again, just some PD. So, not much to see otherwise. And yeah, Blood Magic Rituals are still cheaper. And some Bloodhenge Druids are taking advantage of that by attacking Beratos. And winning? How did you win with... Oh wow, that's a lot of commanders. God damn. Yeah, they came in force. Bloodvines, of course, notoriously hard to kill. Although one of them did go down to just a little bit of... Oh, what was this? Were you guys patrolling? Or are these just from events? How odd. Oh, it is the story event. Maybe they knew something was going to happen here. They were trying to put some units there waiting, but not quite enough. And that's it for messages. And yeah, Diportent is Blood Vortex in a convenient wooded area. So the way Blood Vortex works, I believe, is it basically just gives you blood slaves based on the population of 3 random provinces in the world. And one of those provinces is always the province where the spell was cast. So the general rule of thumb is you want to cast it in whatever province has the highest population you can find. Which I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume is not a forest. So this is 10k. So a weird place to end up would be slightly better. Oh, the point would have been a great place to cast it, 21,000 pop. Because I do know traditionally people cast it in enemy capitals that they've taken, because those always have really high pop. But yeah, so there were some better choices for where to put this. I guess you could put it in your cap if you want to. I don't think it does much, to be honest, other than reduce the population a little bit. Which you might not care about too much. Because that would give you... I don't know, I think it's like, what, 1/100th of the population is the base you get from the spell? Or something like that. So that would give you at least 38 blood slaves every turn. And this province is going to give at least 10 every turn. I think that's how it works, but I could be wrong. I've only used blood spells like twice in Dominion 6, so don't quote me on anything. But it's something like that anyway. The one rule of thumb I always remember is people say put Blood Vortex in an enemy cap that you've taken. Because you probably don't care about that too much, but it does have a really high population. The other provinces that blood slaves come from, though, are just random, so you can't do much about that. And yeah, that's it for messages. So, we'll take a quick look around. I think the first thing we need to look at, of course, is how badly is Marverni suffering now? And they have almost completely... I mean, they're exactly the same size as Kalem now. So they've been kind of coasting in sort of a weird middle position where they weren't quite as bad off as like Kalem and Ubar. But they weren't up amongst the big boys in Yomi, Rus, and Veritas. So research-wise especially. But yeah, Yomi has just eaten them. I mean, they've literally just eaten half of their provinces, from what it looks like. So not great for them, you know. Also losing then against Ubar as well. And yeah, it does look like Yomi's going to grab this one quite easily. They have 2 large stacks here threatening it now. This is, how many Shikomi is this? 160. And this is about 180 demons, so yeah. This is all going to move on to that, probably with some of the Dione as well. Or the Dione might just take provinces and then come back if they need to. Either way. Looks like Marvone is going to be quickly swept away now. What about army? How much army did they just lose? Oh, that's that's a yeah, bit of a drop. Bit of a drop, we can say that. Amusingly enough, didn't have much gem income. I guess they haven't really been searching their provinces. So Yomi doesn't pick up any new gem income, really. At least not until they grab this province, which has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. But oh well, yeah. Doesn't look good for Marvone at this point. But, you know, respect to taking the exploding boar bless. I enjoyed it, even though it was of absolutely no use whatsoever. You know, I still think you deserve great respect for that. And let's see. I mean, at some point you're going to have a fort defense here. I wonder if you have any mages here. I mean, you could teleport mages into it starting now, I suppose. Let's see if you do any better in a fort defense against Yomi. And that would be interesting. No movement from Rus yet that we can see. How is Rus looking on the map now? Still just stacked sitting in forts. Content to sit back and I assume research. Although, yeah, Veritas is so far ahead on research. If they have a strong blood economy, they got construction 9, they're first on research. They should also have a counter for these things, right? Because I was just looking at this before, because they have these mages. They can all Cloud Trapeze and all cast, well, almost all cast, what's it called? Inferno thing. Blood spells. Infernal Prison. Right? So as soon as you see a Dione, you just Cloud Trapeze on it and spam this until it's in range. You just need something to kill those wolves first so that they don't get targeted. Because this just instantly sends a Dione to hell. There's no save or anything, right? Pretty decent range as well, 35. It's not quite enough to just hit across the battlefield, but... that would be an interesting answer to the Dione, wouldn't it? I'd be interested to see if that could work. Yeah, so... sounds like Veritas might be about to attack them anyway. They have been building up a lot of demons in Germ, of course. So this is where, I believe, yeah, Father Ilarth is here as well. There's a bunch of Shed, or Shedim, or Shedu, or however, whatever the plural is of that. And this does connect to the best province in the game that is held by Yomi currently, and not the hugest army defending it. 220 units, mostly Shikomi and Tengu. So that could be an interesting first strike that Yomi might not see coming either. Do they even have a border anywhere else? I don't think so, right? No. So, oh, right. So they do technically have a border here now because of, yeah. So that's interesting. Beratos might want to be careful about this fort in that case. Actually, what is this connected to? How did you get here, Yomi? What is this? I didn't even realize that. Yeah, what are these provinces doing? You've gone so deep. Is this the Shade Mail guy? Did you sneak over here, or are they just cloud trapezing? Oh, no, you don't have her, that's right. How did you get over here? I'm so confused. Map move 31. You don't fly or anything, though. Am I crazy? How did you do this? What's in Acid Jazz Swamp? Bro, I do not know. It takes place down here. It's not like a ritual or anything. They just walked here. Okay, I'll admit, I don't know how those guys even got there. Map move 31. I mean, yeah, okay. How did you do this, Yomi? Am I crazy? Or is that an insane movement? What? I don't understand that one. I'm gonna leave things there. There's 59. Okay. I mean, the 60 should be pretty interesting then. People are finally going to attack Yomi. But for now, I think I'm gonna leave things there. There's 59. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.